Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is 28 days later, a Rakdos deck that aims to use the opponent's own cards against them. We're coming in with plenty of Thievery that lets us grab cards from the opponent's pile to use for our purposes. We've brought along some removals, a touch of discard, and a way to get men on our side from any grave. We've even got a bit of life gain to help recover from damages we've taken. While we don't have card draw, we make up for the lack of extra draws by stealing cards from the opponent. We get to play our deck as well as theirs. Let's get in there. We're playing Tinybones Joins Up, a 1-mana enchantment that forces the opponent to toss a card. We can also make ourselves toss one, but we're not looking to do so. Once in play, Tinybones Joins Up will mill the opponent a card whenever we have a legend enter play on our side, and they will lose a point of life as well. This will fire off even when we get a legend from the grave that enters play, and it works even when we get legends from the opponent's grave. Not only do we have his enchantment, but we have the Tiny-Boned Wonder himself. Tinybones is the first thief that can hit the table. He might be only 1 mana, but he does quite a bit for us. He has Death Touch, so he will trade with any enemy he tangles with. And that also might let him get through for damages, since the opponent might not be willing to trade away one of their men for a 1-drop. When he does connect, we can play out a permanent from the opponent's grave without having to worry about color requirements. We can steal enemy men, or even valuable enchantments and artifacts. Bitter Triumph is the first of our removals. For only 2 mana, we can use it to hit enemy men or even a planeswalker. We do have to toss a card or pay 3 life to be able to fire it off, but that's a small price to pay to be able to deal with an enemy that we need gone, and at instant speed. Strategic Betrayal is our other removal. This one will exile one of their men and the opponent's grave. While we are looking to use enemy men in the grave, there are times we can't let them have a full grave, and this will deal with those situations nicely. It won't touch our grave, so we'll still be able to get our men back. The Terminus of Return is a fantastic mana artifact. It comes down early and helps us power out our pricier cards. It is indestructible, so once we have it in play, it's very difficult for the opponent to get rid of it. Later in the game, we can pay 7 mana and tap it to harness the power of the Terminus. Once harnessed, we'll get one of our men back from the grave on each of our upkeeps. To harness the Terminus, we do have to exile one of our men, but we do have a way to generate tokens, and we can sacrifice a token to unlock the full potential of this mana rock. Luis is our life gain. He enters play with a number of counters equal to the amount of extra mana we pay to play him out. Then he'll drain the opponent equal to the amount of extra mana we paid. With his lifelink ability, we're able to recover life when we send him in for damages or when he blocks. We are not able to get extra counters on him when we get him back from the grave, but having him on board, even with base stats, can help us out. Laughing Jasper Flint is an excellent legend. With him in play, we'll steal the top X cards, where X is the number of outlaws we control. We don't have many outlaws, but any enemy men that we control will count towards Flint's card-stealing ability. His stats make him an amazing attacker, so if the way is clear, we're fully capable of sending him in for hits. Decadent Dragon is another excellent thief. Expensive Taste is the adventure we can fire off at instant speed to steal the top 2 cards of the opponent's deck. We can then play those cards out as long as we have the right color mana. To help us out, the dragon creates a treasure when it swings in. And as a 4/4 flyer with Trample, he can do a great job in cutting down the opponent's life total. Wrench is here as well. It does a great job at stealing cards from the opponent. It is a 5-drop, so we won't see it until the mid-game. But when it enters play, we get to look at the top 9 cards of the opponent's deck and take any 2 cards we like. We won't have to worry about color requirements either, so we can play out the cards we stole once we have enough mana to power them out. Note that Wrench will steal cards when it enters, so getting it back in play from the grave will trigger the card-stealing ability. Rakdos Joins Up is a reanimation enchantment, but it also does a bit more. When we get one of our men back from the grave, it will enter with 2+1/+1 counters on it, and when one of our legends dies, The enchantment will deal damage to the opponent equal to the power of the legend we lost. In our deck, only the dragon is not a legend. The rest of the team will be doing some damage on their way out if this is in play. Virtue of Persistence is still a very powerful card. It's a removal early, and later in the game we can play it out as an enchantment. Then we'll get back any men from any grave and they will enter play on our side. Welcome to the shark side, boys. 4 lands, we're playing 3 Fountainport, the special land that can generate tokens as well as let us sacrifice tokens for an extra draw. 4 Raucous Theater, the Rakdos Surveil land. 4 Blazemire Verge, the swamp that becomes a duel when we have a swamp or mountain in play. 6 mountains, 5 swamps, and 2 Midgar, City of Mako, the special land that we can use to sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards. Playing the deck is only slightly complicated. The difficult choices come up when we get to choose which cards to take from the opponent. Thanks to our setup, we have plays in the early game all the way through to the late game. Early, we want to use our removals to keep enemy men to a minimum while we work on building up our mana for our powerful effects. Steal whenever possible. The dragon has expensive taste, but it can be fired off as early as turn 3 to take a pair of cards from the opponent. The goal is to steal as many cards from the opponent as possible and work towards getting to the point where we can get their men from the grave. We use their cards, we use ours, and the hits keep coming all game long. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Rudy, Julie, Annie, welcome to the big show. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander that's got a pair of removals, along with a pair of men that are excellent at stealing cards. Keep your pants on. Our Surveil land shows us a Fountainport on top. We'll keep it. It's a versatile land that can help build up our mana and draw cards. They hit us with an intimidation tactics. He is a Rudy Poo. They eliminate Jasper from our hand. We'll miss him, but we still have Wrench. Well, there goes Wrench. On the plus side, they have 0 pressure on board. They play out a Bloodletter. With a pair of removals in hand, we're not concerned about their evil flyer. At the end of the turn, we'll make a Sushi. We'll use it to get in for damages while the way is clear. And it will be. Our Surveil land shows us a removal on top. We'll keep it. We'll fire off our Betrayal to take out their Bloodletter. Then we can get in for damages with our Sushi. They play out a stoppable slasher. It could be a problem, but we have a great way of slowing it down already on board. They send the slasher, and we'll throw our Sushi out front. Once we've blocked, we'll eat our raw fish for an extra card. That gets us a dragon, and we have the mana to fire off the expensive taste, which we'll do at the end of their turn. That gets us a bat and a removal. Not bad. We can use the bat to at least get a peek at their hand. They use a removal on their bat. I figured they would, but we still get to see what else they're holding. That's a removal, a sweeper and a Lewis. We could use a removal, but we still have the ability to make sushi, and we can use the token to block. That feels like a better idea than using up a card. They send it, and we'll go with a California roll. Damages? I don't think so. We draw another Fountainport and we'll play it. That gives us the ability to make a sushi and sacrifice it for a draw. They send it, and we'll go ahead and make some raw fish magically appear. We'll block, then eat our sushi and get another card. GG's opponent. No, wait, they're still playing. This turn we'll go with our tiny boned wonder. He loves to tell you how big his bone really is. Just cover your ears, boys. They hit us with a duress. All they can do is take a removal. They decide not to send it. They don't want us to hit them with our tiny bones. We'll make a treasure at the end of their turn. We definitely don't need the mana, but it is a pain-free token we can sacrifice for draw. We've drawn almost half our lands. Shout out to the shuffler. We don't have any plays, so we'll pass the turn. Your go, my bro. They play out an Annex. Demon Black finally has the demon part of their deck on board. They hit us with their Strategic Betrayal. We could make a token, but either way, we're likely to lose Tiny Bones. We'll let him go, and we can make a sushi to block with when they send it. They skip attacks. That's kind of odd. We'll make another treasure, then we can sacrifice one for an extra draw. That's over half our lands now. Amazing. Our surveil land shows us a Jasper on top. We'll keep him. Let's play out the dragon. We still have the ability to make a token blocker if they send it, but now we have a threat in the air. They hit us with another duress, but with only one card, they can make us toss. We'll fire it off and snipe their slasher. And to pay for the removal, we'll toss a land. They follow up with a demon wall. It'll give them a drain with their Annex, but we'll use their removal to take it down. The 2 damages they take this turn gets them closer to 0. Let's get in there. They fire off a sweeper. That will deal with their own slasher. It's almost like they're trying to help us. Thanks, bro. They fire off another duress, but we have nothing they can make us toss. Nice one. Let's draw. That gets us a virtue. We can play that out for its full price and start getting men back from the grave. We'll play out the virtue, then we have enough mana to play out our reanimator and get back our dragon. Lethality is on board. They're forced to use another betrayal to take down our dragon. It's the only thing in our grave to get back, so the betrayal doesn't hurt as badly as it could have. They pay to unlock their demon, and now they have a big flyer as well as the drain ability. Out of all these, I think I like the bat. Once again, it'll give us a look at their hand. Out of these, I think we have to take Luis. He's the most dangerous. We draw a Terminus. It's never too late, as we can make use of it if we have men in our grave. We'll hit them with our betrayal, and they can kiss their demon goodbye. Kiss it, bro. Then we'll follow up with Jasper. They'll need to deal with our men, or we'll be stealing cards from their deck. They fire off a deadly cover-up, which will take care of our team, but that's only temporary. We'll get Jasper back. His death will also hit them for 4, right in the face. They play out a bat, but we have 0 cards in hand. All the cards we need are in the grave. It would be easy to take Jasper here, but let's take their bat. We can't let them fire off Luis. We draw a removal, which is just fine. If they draw a demon, we can take it out. They block with their bat. That will let them survive until we attack on our turn. We'll make a sushi at the end of their turn. This will make it so they need 2 removals to be able to see another turn. This time we'll grab our Jasper. If the game is still going when we untap next, we'll have the power of Thievery on our side. We get a Tinybones Joins Up, and we'll play it out. Then we'll get in there. They did not have the double removal hand they would need to survive. GG's, extra cheese. This is the Duke O. He's a giant Duke O. We get a 3-lander with double removal, a Tinybones, and a Lewis. This is fine. Keep your pants on. Bro is a little gun-shy from being on the big show. We'll play the Verge that will let us get Tinybones in there. They play out an Authority. It's a decent defensive measure, but we don't have a pile of men coming down anytime soon. Without any men on board, we don't need the mana for our removals, so we'll play out the Surveil land. That shows us a swamp on top, and we'll keep it. Turn 2, and they go with a second Authority. Let's get in there. It's their third turn, and they go without any plays. That's fine, we'll go ahead and get a little taste of their deck. That gets us a Plains and a Sheltered by Ghosts. Not the best theft we've pulled off. We've got nothing to do but to slap them in the face with Tinybones, Tinybone. Get in there, little man. They play out a youthful Valkyrie. Team Angel has arrived on the big show. I hope they brought a fresh set of panties. We'll hit their Angel with the Virtue. Hopefully they aren't packing protection spells. That's one Angel down and many more to go. We'll send in the Tiny-Boned Wonder, and we can use his ability to play their Angel. They're actually Boras. That's new for an Angel deck. They follow up with an Exemplar, the Card Draw Angel. I think it wants to come over to the Shark side too. We draw another Virtue. We can blast their Angel, and we have the mana to get it on our side. They fire off a lightning strike to take down their own Exemplar. Let's send it. If the hits land, we'll get the Exemplar back for another try. Let's follow up with our discard enchantment. We'll make them toss a card, and with only 2 cards in hand, their options will be very limited. They might have run out of men, or maybe they're holding back. Anyways, we'll drop our Luis for the added pressure. Their Exemplar drew us a Jasper Flint. We'll be able to keep stealing their stuff even if they don't play anything out. They poop it and scoop it. That's GG's. Extra stealing cheese. This is Pipe O in apartment 631. He likes his fresh kitty litter and some catnip. We get a shuffler special, but we do have a terminus to get us to 3, plus a pair of removals we can use to keep ourselves alive until we draw into more weapons. Keep. They play out a life link bird, life gain confirmed. Our surveil land shows us another removal on top. We'll keep it. They will have plenty of men for us to use removals on. They play out a channeler. It's going to get bigger every time we get hit with their lifelink bird. To play out our terminus, or to hold up our removal for when they swing in, that is the question. I think if we're to have a chance, we might have to hit their men with removals. They warp in a Halia. Are they stuck on 2 lands? This will make their channeler bigger, but it's not another guy on board, which could work to our advantage. They send it, and we'll take out their lifelink bird. They save it with a protection spell. That's unfortunate. We do draw a 3rd land, but it enters tapped. We've got a pair of betrayals left as our removals, so we'll use one. That should take care of the bird, and the channeler will be the only one left. They play out a case, but that's not another one of their men. They follow up by warping in another Halia. Anything to grow that channeler. We'll play out the terminus, and that will leave us with the mana for the 2nd betrayal. Fire in the channeler hole. Our surveil land shows us a Fountainport on top. I can't say no to more manas. We'll play out our Tinybones Joins Up. Let's cut a card right out of their hand. They're stuck on 2 and have no plays, but we have plays. Let's get a little taste. We get a Plains and a Pride Mate, lol. We stole their land. It's time to hit them with our wrench. We're about to steal some more of their cards. We'll grab a couple of their life gain men. A Sanctifier and a life gain bird should do the trick. They play out an authority. We're not too worried about our and their men entering tapped. We'll go with the Pride Mate first, then we can follow up with the bird. They might be gaining life now, but they'll be losing it in a few turns thanks to this giant cat. They play out a bat. It'll be a blocker for a turn. Thanks to the Sanctifier, we can make a sushi and gain back the life we lose in generating the token. We'll use the Virtue to take out their bat before we get in for damages. That's too much for them. GG's, extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.